Ravens are among the most vocal birds in the world, capable of dozens of distinct calls. In captivity, they can even mimic human speech, a rare trait shared with only a handful of other animals. It's no wonder their hauntingly expressive voices inspired Edgar Allan Poe's famous line, "Quoth the raven, nevermore." But their voice is only part of their dark mystique. As historic battlefield scavengers, their presence after a conflict deeply linked them with death and prophecy in the human imagination. This is likely the root of the ancient legend at the Tower of London, where ravens have been kept for centuries on the prophecy that if they ever leave, the kingdom will fall. Behind all that myth lies a sharp, calculating intellect. If you ever encounter one, tread carefully. Ravens can recognize individual human faces. If you cross them, they are entirely capable of holding a serious, multi-year grudge against you. We actually caught this raven red-handed in the Old Faithful parking lot at Yellowstone. Far from a mythical creature of doom, it was actively and methodically trying to unzip a motorcycle storage bag to steal someone's lunch. This kind of practical problem-solving is backed by incredible brainpower. Ravens can plan for abstract future events they've never even experienced, a cognitive skill once thought unique to great apes. Combined with the tool-making abilities of their close cousins, Corvid cognition is maybe on par with that of a chimpanzee. In fact, crows and their entire extended family are widely considered the absolute geniuses of the bird world. Across this family tree, we meet master tool users, memory freaks, dedicated family planners, and complex social networks. For example, take the American crow. They live in deeply loyal, extended family groups where older offspring stay around for years just to help raise their younger siblings. They gather in massive communal roosts to share information about food and threats, and just like ravens, they can pass descriptions of dangerous humans down through generations, teaching the whole neighborhood to hold a grudge against you. Then there's the rook, an absolute star of laboratory cognition studies. When presented with complex problems, rooks can spontaneously bend straight wire into hooks to retrieve food. They even easily pass the classic Aesop's fable challenge, deliberately dropping heavy stones into a tube of water to raise the liquid level and bring a floating reward within reach. Out in the wild, the pied crow displays this same classic corvid opportunism and behavioral flexibility. This uncanny ability to adapt on the fly has allowed them to thrive across wildly different landscapes, from bustling coastal villages to isolated highland farms. The hooded crow takes a more physical approach to hard-to-crack problems. They will carry hard-shelled prey like mollusks high into the air and drop them onto rocks to smash them open, and some have even been observed placing tough nuts in crosswalks, using car traffic as a nutcracker. While the carrion crow gets its grim name from its traditional scavenging habits, these birds also possess a mysterious, deeply social side. When a member of the flock dies, groups will sometimes gather silently around the fallen crow before quietly dispersing. Researchers are still actively debating the purpose. Are they assessing a local danger, or are we witnessing something closer to a funeral? The Eurasian jackdaw has a social superpower entirely unique among corvids. It is the only one known to read eyes as communicative cues, accurately following a human's gaze to locate hidden food. They form tight, lifelong monogamous bonds within large, highly structured colonies, using intense eye contact with their partners to reinforce their bond and reconcile after internal flock conflicts. Similarly, the red-billed chough relies heavily on high-flying social intelligence. They form disciplined, tight flocks characterized by complex vocalizations, cooperative foraging, and socially learned aerial acrobatics. While their long, curved bill acts as a perfect precision tool for probing deep into soil for insects, they rely more on teamwork and spatial memory than the raw tool-making sophistication of their raven cousins. Moving along the family tree, we encounter the jays, the undisputed memory champions of the bird world. Interestingly, calling a bird a jay is more of an old folk category than a strict scientific classification. It's a label we generally use for the colorful, expressive branches of the corvid family. The familiar blue jay is a prolific scatter hoarder, burying thousands of acorns and nuts every autumn and mapping their locations using a highly advanced spatial memory. But they are also masters of psychological deception. A blue jay will frequently mimic the piercing scream of a hawk, either to scatter rival birds and clear out a crowded bird feeder for themselves, or to sound a false alarm to protect their immediate family. Further west, the Steller's jay stands out as the only crested jay in western North American forests. If you want to know what they are thinking, just watch that prominent dark crest. They raise or flatten it with surprising precision to signal their mood and social intentions to the rest of the forest. While most jays rely on memory, the stunning green jay is one of the very few New World corvids with confirmed tool use in the wild. Individuals have been documented using small twigs and sticks held firmly in their bills to pry bark off trees and extract hidden insects, a rare feat outside of the core crow genus. Across the Atlantic, the Eurasian jay ranks as one of the most cognitively sophisticated birds ever studied. They cache thousands of acorns each autumn, relying on what scientists call episodic-like memory to relocate them months later. Remarkably, they will actively alter their caching strategy based entirely on whether or not they notice a rival bird watching them. The California scrub jay takes that exact brand of craftiness to a whole new level. They remember not just where they hid an item, but when, adjusting their recovery schedule based on how fast the food perishes. Furthermore, if a scrub jay steals another bird's stash and realizes it was watched in the process, it will wait until it is alone, return to the site, and move the stolen goods to a secret new location. Scrub jays are opportunistic omnivores. They adapt bill use, favor softer food, seeds, insects, mast, and cache food with feet/tongue assist, so a mild bill deformity rarely stops them foraging. Up in the frozen north, the gray jay has adapted its caching strategy for survival. They harvest food year-round, using their own sticky saliva to glue thousands of tiny food morsels to tree bark and branches well above the impending snowline. By remembering most of these thousands of scattered pantries, they can successfully breed remarkably early in the deep, late winter freeze using their stored reserves. But the absolute, title-holding memory champion of the entire animal kingdom is Clark's nutcracker. A single nutcracker will cache up to 30,000 pine seeds each autumn, scattering them across dozens of square miles. Months later, they can relocate the majority of them buried deep under the snow using visual landmarks. To support this mind-boggling feat of data storage, their brain's hippocampus, the center for spatial memory, is significantly enlarged compared to other birds. Next, we meet the magpies. The Eurasian magpie was originally just called a pie, which is where we get the word pied, meaning black and white. The "vmag" was tacked on later as a nod to just how chatty and vocal they are. They are one of the incredibly rare non-mammals to pass the mirror self-recognition test, suggesting a level of self-awareness intimately tied to their complex social lives, which even includes gathering for emotional, funeral-like behavior around deceased flockmates. Their North American cousin, the black-billed magpie, forms tightly cooperative breeding groups and winter flocks with strict, organized pecking orders. When a predator invades their space, they coordinate aggressive mobbing behaviors using specific vocal alarm signals to drive the threat away. Finally, the azure-winged magpie takes a highly tactical approach to daily survival. While the flock feeds on the ground, they rotate guard duty by posting sentinels to watch for danger, operating like a tiny, disciplined military unit. Highly social and cooperative, these magpies nest in dense colonies where non-breeding relatives help feed the chicks, and adults regularly practice voluntary, reciprocal food sharing among group members. In conclusion, the brilliant, calculating world of the corvids shows just how sophisticated avian minds can truly be. In our next video, we will transition to the family Icteridae, the blackbirds, orioles, and grackles, and discuss how their striking behaviors stack up against their brainy cousins, the crows.